A zaraz trochę historii.
Hello, comrades. Welcome to a slightly delayed, but I promise it's worth the wait, discussion of the Americans. I am your host, Jesse Jackson, and joining me always is the true star of the show, my Bruce wife, Allie.
You're too kind.
Oh, I am so excited to talk about the end of the season. We have the 13th episode of the fourth season, Persona non grata.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked a little bit before we hit record, but do you want to give a quick couple of thoughts on what you think? Because there's mixed grades going out there among the
I know.
nets.
I'm actually kind of like, we were going to record right after, and that was, our plan, and then something happened that we couldn't on my part. But I'm actually now glad that we didn't, because I was able to really read so many different opinions on this episode, and also a really great article. I don't know if it was Variety or the Hollywood Reporter with both Joel and Joe.
I know I read one on Entertainment Weekly where they talk the Jennings next moves. Yeah. So and I'll put that
we'll get into
link.
that. Put a little note there.
Yes, I will. I'll put a note in that for.
So my thing was, for me, I felt, like anything with an Americans episode, it doesn't have to be a wild car chasing crazy theme. A lot of season finales have to leave you with that type of cliffhanger. I think the slow pace, but yet the complex way it was done, and the different, and so many things were tied into a nice little bundle. Other things were left very exposed, and I actually I enjoyed the episode very much. Is it one of my favorites? No, but I actually enjoyed it, and I think it gives us a lot to think about going into when they start recording for next season.
Yeah, I liked it a lot too, Allie. It was a very slow episode, but this has been a very hectic season.
Oh,
and I liked the um, it's kind of like a Bruce show, which of course we have to bring up because it's
always
a story.
Always.
Sometimes some people, and we will need to get in a discussion later about people calling certain people not fans because they don't hit their definition.
While you were away, that's right. You commented.
Yes, and
that was a great comment. Thank you, by the way.
Yeah.
I hadn't thanked you already.
The you know, Drive All Night, is not a Bruce song that some people like. They say it's a little too long, or it just isn't one of their favorites. And I, on the other hand, love the slow pace of the song and the emotion.
Yes.
And this one had that same feeling for me.
Perfect.
That,
Perfectly said.
Yeah, it was, we've had a really strong season, and now then we're kind of winding down, and for those of you who have to have a death, like The Sopranos, right? No one got whacked. They said it wasn't a good episode.
That's right.
This one we had a very wonderful death, which we'll talk about in a minute. And wonderful, I mean sad, but well done.
Oh, well, he's phenomenal.
And just a great kind of ending, you're kind of, okay, I'm going to slow things down before I now get to the second half of the set, which is the final two episodes season
Mm-hmm.
yet.
Look, can I ask you a question?
You can always ask me a question now. With my
Funniest.
one good arm.
With,
So I have to stop before you ask the question. It was so funny. Those of you who don't know, I am on Facebook, Jesse Jackson, Louisville, Texas, and I posted a ton of different photos because I'm just back from a Tennessee vacation. And so, go ahead, tell the story.
I can't. I'm
Okay.
laughing.
So, yeah,
So, my absolutely loving and concerned husband knew that Jesse had a small car accident a few weeks back,
right.
and knew that, had that knowledge, and then saw this picture on Facebook, and like literally was like beside himself and said, "Oh my God, Allie, what happened to Jesse's arm?" And I at first also panicked and was like, "What do you mean? What do you mean?" He goes, come here, look at this picture." And I'm like, "Oh my God." So then I look at another picture and I get a little calmer because we've noticed that Jesse has a little bit of a habit.
Yes.
Not a bad habit, just a habit. That he tends to stand with his arm behind his back,
Yes.
thus allowing this sleeve on a short sleeve shirt to look like the poor man is a one-armed man.
Yes.
When
So,
in fact, nothing is wrong with him, thank God.
thank God. Yes. So
Oh,
I think that's funny.
did you tell Linda yet?
No, I haven't told Linda yet, but I will. What I thought when Allie said we need to talk about photos is Linda has, and Linda is my lovely bride, um, has photo um, rights. Like before I have to put something on Facebook, she has to approve
As
it.
she should.
And so I when Allie said we need to talk about photos, I'm like, wait a minute, did I put a photo on Allie on Facebook that because it's
No.
impossible for Allie not to have an attractive.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
All
I do.
right, so
So we
you were
digress.
yes, you were going to ask me something.
What is your funniest? There's a reason I'm asking you this. What is your funniest moment from this episode? Because one keeps sticking with me, and I keep chuckling about it.
So, um, a
I
couple of
hope it's the same one. No, no,
oh,
no. One.
okay. Do you want a Coke?
Exactly. We didn't plan this.
No.
Oh my God! The last night too, I was like, Charlie, want a Coke? I just haven't stopped. I haven't stopped with Adderall with that question. And Stan's look at him was just, and besides William's look at him, but Stan's look at him was like, "Excuse me? Excuse me. Do you want a Coke?"
And
It was so funny.
you're wondering like what was it? I guess he was just like you might be thirsty
I
or
know. It was so random, as my daughter would say. That's so random.
hmm
I'm so, Jesse, this is why I love you.
yeah,
This is why you're my Bruce husband. This is why you're my buddy. This
yeah,
is why we do this, because you
absolutely.
get me. You get
Oh,
me.
I
You knew
do.
exactly where I was going with that.
Yes.
Do you want
Um,
Coke?
I I loved and I think some of some of the fans and specifically about William's death. But I thought it was perfect
It
the
was
way
exactly what he said it was going to happen.
yes, and you know, Stan and them are just staring there going, maybe he's going to break, he probably won't if he's willing to commit, you know, basically suicide,
Exactly.
but we have to keep watching.
Yes. And look, you saw when he just started to talk about, "I wish I had a wife and a
Yeah.
life like they have,
hmm
and she's so pretty, and
Yeah.
he's a lucky guy." They got you thinking for a moment, well, we know William in his sane mind would never do this,
Right.
but besides this horrible, virus that's, killing him from the inside out, as we heard in the previous episodes what it would do.
Yeah.
Um, whatever drugs they might be giving him. Also, we didn't know where he was gonna, where his, he was in La La Land at that moment.
Yeah.
And we didn't know.
Mhm.
We didn't know, but and they were, they stood there like, on his every sound, his every,
Yeah.
everything, which they would do. It was very real. It was very true to the period, and even like I was watching and looking because I love to point these things out.
Mhm.
With the medical equipment, with everything. Oh, ding, ding, ding! I need to ask you this now. Sorry, people,
Yes.
that I digress. What did you notice this week was hiding the baby bump?
I did not, because I knew you would have that for me. I truly do get, I'm so embarrassed because every time we talk about this, I go,
I
okay,
can't.
I should remember,
I just can't.
and I
How do
never,
you not
I
notice?
just get so caught up in the story. So yes.
So the big one was when she came home. When Paige was alone,
Mhm.
and she came home with the dry cleaning,
Yeah.
hiding it, the dry cleaning. Then we had in the final scene the curtains, you know,
Mhm.
and we had Philip hiding her actually in another scene,
Yeah.
and they still haven't disclosed what they had yet, a boy or a girl. It's killing me.
No.
No, killing me. So we digress again. These are the actually important things you need to know about
Absolutely.
the Americans.
So, um, we're kind of jumping to the end, but I want to stick with William.
Let's go.
A
Let's do it.
wonderful, suspenseful beginning where they show them the FBI kind of staking him out. He of course has no idea. He's being so careful in his apartment, you know,
Mhm.
packing the strain, in the little metal mint box or whatever.
Mhm.
And it and he has his little mask on, he's using gloves,
Absolutely.
and
He was a very meticulous,
yes,
even in
he
the
is.
last one we saw, the other strain that we saw.
Yes.
But go on.
And then they're, oh, you guys are too close, and they're like, if we get any further away, we're gonna lose them.
Right, but also on the other hand, you see Philip driving at
Yeah.
the same time, the
Yes.
panaways to
And I'm like, oh my goodness, they're gonna recognize him.
absolutely.
So that was very nerve
Because
wracking.
it's not just Stan that can recognize him.
Yeah.
Adderall could recognize him from that barbecue, whatever that was, 2
Yes.
seasons ago.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So you're sitting there going, oh wow, okay,
Mm-hmm.
what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? And then
William takes off on foot.
yes. And when William knows he's gonna be caught, he
Grabs the virus.
so I'm gonna ask you, Allie, put yourself in his shoes. Would you have done that?
Um, Probably not.
Yeah,
No,
I don't think I would have had enough courage.
no, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I
Yeah,
mean, I've seen in the past where, in spy movies and stuff, great scene in Spy Game with
yeah,
Brad Pitt and Robert Redford when Brad Pitt's driving someone across the border and he
yeah,
pretends to be a drunk and then eats that capsule, what makes them vomit, and all that
yeah.
stuff. Those things I've seen and I would do, but maybe he just didn't feel that there was any way out, or maybe he didn't trust his own resolve, so to speak.
Right.
You know, torture is torture, and back in the '80s, sadly,
Hmm.
all countries, um, did some form of torture. And maybe
Yeah.
he just figured, you know. I'm not going to go deal with that. I'm not going to be tortured for maybe I don't want to be tortured or I can't trust myself to be, whatever it
Hmm.
is.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to do this because I know you know, this is the easiest thing for me to do. It's a 3 day, 4 day,
Hmm.
pain in the it has no
Yeah.
pun intended.
Yes. Well, one of the things that in this, and like I said, showrunners, in I will put the link on June 8th. They had a discussion with Joel and Joe, and one of the things that um, the Entertainment Weekly is asked that all the deaths this season have happened when the characters come so close to living heavily after. This was
Mhm.
Timothy Williams' last mission. Nina almost got released. Agent Gadd was on vacation. Are we meant to draw parallels with their deaths? What should we take away from the fact that they all couldn't reach a happy ending when they could have? And Weisberg says, that sounds so depressing when you say it that way. I
You know,
never
at
thought of
first
those
I
deaths in
hated
those terms. I think we just wrote it that way. Now it's just a little extra sad. And Field says, but that's what we were going for. We're going for extra sad. Um, William, he was like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm
Yes.
done.
Well, he also wasn't given a choice by
No,
Gabriel.
he
I
wasn't.
mean, it was like you do this and then you're done, and you'll be a hero and you'll
Yeah.
have a great life, and
Yeah.
you served your country. We heard that even in the last episode before this.
Yes.
So
And so sad.
yeah, well, I hate to see him go as an actor. I mean, his
Oh,
presence on the screen, just is phenomenal, and he played this role, um, so perfect.
he
So,
did. And he was such, he had some of the best lines.
oh
Like,
my God,
you know, we get vacations. I still
yeah,
think of that every once in a while.
all the time.
Yeah, just like especially
We
because
get
I was on vacation.
right. We
I was
get
like,
vacation.
We get
Get time
vacations?
off. What do you mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So,
And that wig might be your best disguise yet.
yeah.
Because that was just a joke because of the costume department at the
Right.
America with the wigs.
Yes.
That was a little inside little
Yeah.
joke.
Yeah. So I was very happy, and he didn't say anything till the very end, and he did say the word Jennings, didn't he?
I didn't hear that.
I did not hear it either, but when I read one of the synopsis, they say he might have. So I will have to rewatch it. I was in the middle, I was in the middle of rewatching this when it
I
came
watched
up
it
to talk.
twice. All right, I watch every. I
Yeah,
watched
you do.
every. I didn't hear that. I
Okay.
would have picked up on that.
Okay. So maybe I misread
Well, no. Maybe we just didn't. Maybe it was done so.
subtly.
Yeah, but now that just leads me to a whole other train of thought. But like just how relieved Philip and Elizabeth were when when Stan came home and there was nothing going on. I don't think Stan was faking anything there.
No. And it's very,
I mean, if Stan heard the word Jennings, he might even like made a joke about it to
yeah,
Philip.
good
Especially he
point.
was in such a jovial mood of finding, which was
Yeah.
another funny scene,
Mm-hmm.
finding Paige and Matthew, and he was doing like the buttony, the clothes things, the second with his hands to
Yes.
Philip. So I think
Um,
he might have. I don't know. I don't think.
mm-hmm.
I don't know. Well, I'll look into that too.
Okay. So I think it's interesting that we know more than the characters. And so therefore we know that William is captured,
Hmm.
but Gabriel and our team doesn't.
No, and Gabriel's like, we don't know. We must get out of here.
Right.
He's been here.
Yeah.
We gotta go.
And we always talk about the great acting, and we will get
Oh,
to the greatness of Paige in a minute. But when Philip and Elizabeth, after Gabriel says, it might be time for you to leave, it's up to you, and they sit in that car,
oh,
there is that
oh.
they've
It's
been hit
like
with a dust stick, right?
absolutely. I mean, like seriously, like I even watched it like, and not obviously, even though you still believe that I'm a Russian spy,
Yeah.
but I'm not, but not as a spy. But I just remember times of watching something or getting bad news, and you could cut the tension in the car, with my husband and I, when you
Oh,
just
yeah.
sit or anywhere, and it was played well, it was done well, it was so real, And, and even afterwards when they were like, can you picture them there? They didn't say who,
Yeah.
but we named the kids, can you picture them there? Oh, all of it was done amazingly.
Yeah.
And everything is done, like we always say in this, done for a reason.
Yes.
Done for a reason.
And
What?
I
Did I not give you the answer you wanted?
no. You gave it. I'm as usual. We're jumping all around. So Paige gets a little kissy again, and I truly do not think this is. She's not playing him. I think she likes him, and yeah. I think she's a teenage girl, and he's kind of cute, and
No.
you think she's playing him?
I think it's a combination of both. I
Okay.
definitely think the teenage girl attracted to him and using that
Okay.
to her advantage to play him. Yes, sir.
So what's your theory on why Philip is so mad?
Because, first of all, I have a daughter.
Yes, you do.
And my husband would be mad at anything, that's involving a boy. He always jokes with my daughter that she can't date until she's on Social Security.
Yes.
So I think first off, it's that primal instinct, that whole fatherly, instinct of like, no, 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 no boy. Second, you know, while we haven't seen Elizabeth and Philip quarrel as much about this, in the last few episodes, but Elizabeth is still handling her, or not still is handling her. She's still training her, even when she said, I'll teach you to fight, I'll teach you this.
Yeah, I can
You know,
teach you a few things.
I could teach you a few things, exactly. And I think, as a daughter myself, like with your mom when we were a teenager, it's like wanting your mom's approval, wanting this, wanting that, and I think she is trying to prove something. I think, Paige is living also with the regret and the what she did, and I think she's trying in a way to make it up to his mom and her dad. But we'll see. We can disagree. We can disagree on this point. But I
No,
I just feel there's I think Paige is, you know.
because
But again, I also think she's like it's like, oh, it's an easy mark because I really think he's kind of cute.
yeah, and I'm glad you shared that because I couldn't tell if Philip was mad as a dad or mad
Absolutely,
as a
absolutely,
spy or a
absolutely as
little
a
bit of
dad.
both. And so,
I
I,
think mostly a dad.
yeah, I think so too. Uh, because once again, and there is such a double standard in society about how sons are treated compared to how daughters are treated.
Yes, I have one of each, and they're only a year apart. They're Irish twins, so
Uh-huh. And
they're treated very differently. My husband would have been patting my son on the back.
which, Stan was. Like, he's like, "Oh,
Yeah,
I caught him. Oh, we gotta should talk about weddings."
father of the
'Cause
bride.
yeah, he was just,
Oh,
'cause he's just thinking this is cute and funny.
right.
And
Philip, not so much.
yeah, Philip is like still in shock that they may have to cut and run.
Well, what do you think Philip thought as he walked over there?
Yeah,
When Elizabeth said to him, "I think it's time to get Paige."
yeah.
Uh,
Are are we going to get her to leave or
or right. I think that whole walking over there scene for him was like dead man walking in a way. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if there was a dialogue box over his head, with his thoughts? It would be crazy.
and once again, you know, um the son is like, um, yeah, thanks for watching the Super Bowl with
Yeah, exactly.
me, which is just so funny.
Of course, like
Mhm.
the ultimate in kids' nervous cover-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
yeah, he's like, so this tells you it's January 1984
Mm-hmm.
because the Raiders
Exactly.
beat the Washington Redskins
Right,
38
who
to
they would have
9.
been rooting for, considering
Yes,
where they're
absolutely.
supposed
Where
to
they
live.
live, absolutely.
Right.
And and so yes, it's very funny, especially since Washington had won the year before. Um, so yeah, the you know,
Which Henry said something to his parents.
yes,
Henry said almost the exact same thing when his parents walked in.
yeah, yeah,
Absolutely flipping out within their own skin that they might have to
yeah,
tell their son that they have to go to Russia to live.
yes, yeah. How you gonna watch football there?
Right.
They kick
Really?
football.
Really? You worried that we didn't watch the Super Bowl with you?
So I am going to.
Did Henry like grow up from the last episode to this episode and like 3 feet?
Um,
I was like, oh my god.
yeah.
At his
It
age,
could be.
he's growing up very fast as it is, but it was like weird seeing him on screen. I was like, wait a minute, he looks older overnight.
Yes, it does. Um, so just another sidebar because we haven't talked in too long, so that's why there's so many sidebars. Um, as some of you may know, I spent a 9-month unplanned sabbatical
Mm.
last year. So from March to December, I was looking for a new work home, and in our household, ever since Chris came back from college, but even before, Cowboy Sundays are, a ritual. And where my son puts up a cowboy banner, he pulls his
Oh
statement book,
no,
things. I mean, we throw everything around. It is this massive. We
you're
have,
not going to be when you're here in New York. You're not going to be here for Sunday, right?
no, I won't.
That's already football season, and my husband, who bleeds green,
Yes, yes,
might not have taken that. So
no. So anyway, and there is a CD that has all these songs, and they have clips of the different cowboy calls of plays, and it's just this ritual. And you have to understand, if the Cowboys lose, my son is depressed. Not like, oh, that was bad. I mean, dark depression. And trust me, he's gone through a lot of that during the last, his adult life. So at the very beginning of the season, I said, Chris, I can't get that emotionally attached to a game. So, I mean, while I'm worried about trying to find a job, I just I can't take that kind of. He goes, oh no, no, it's cool, Dad. And so he was. We didn't do any of the rituals. When he lost, he was depressed, but he kind of kept it face like, oh, it's just a game. So when I got my job and we're already talking, it's like, okay, it's on this year, Dad. You're working. We're back. We're going to have it. So I feel for Henry a little bit. He
right,
doesn't have any aware that his life might change. All he knows is that his favorite team got their butts kicked in the Super Bowl.
right, of course, and no one was there.
No one was there to watch him with thing. So yeah. Um, it is just too funny. I do. All right. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is part of my confusion is I kept going, should we know this young guy in Russia?
Ah,
And I said, I'm
Mika.
I'm thinking this is Philip's son.
It is 100% Philip's son.
Because they've talked about that in the past.
100%. But I picked up. I mean, I'm sorry if you
No, no,
did.
no. As I was watching, I said,
Oh, okay.
this has got to be his son, right? Because why else? And then I'm going, wait a minute.
Powerful friends.
Yeah, has this someone we don't, know? And so yes, they later tell us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what did you think of that storyline?
like I always say, everything's done purposely. You know,
Mm.
look, this year we sadly said goodbye to like a lot of characters. So if we
Yes.
really think down to it, if right now we have the Jennings, of course, and their family, we have the Beemans, we have Gabriel, we have no one else.
Yeah.
Well, we have Adderhall, but we don't really have a storyline behind him too much, you know. So we need to connect more dots. We need to,
Yeah.
you know, bring everything full circle. We only have 23 more episodes to go. And I know that
Right.
might sound like a lot to some, but it's a very sad number to us.
Yes, it is.
And yes, and and we need, they obviously, it's I don't think from what I read from Joel and Joe that this thing with Mika was definitely going to start right now when it did. But I think it was started at the right place, and we'll see. We'll
Mhm.
see. We'll see. I think, look, if you remember back to season one, middle of the season with Irina,
Mhm.
the mother of Miguel.
Yeah.
If you remember that all. So, I mean, it's not like this, they just pulled this out of nowhere, which, it's not like they're jumping the shark and they pulled this out of nowhere. I
Right.
mean, we understood this from season one, and then again, when Philip and Elizabeth had chatted at another time, when Philip got word from Gabriel that Mika was out of Afghanistan, out of the war as they referred to it,
Yes.
out of Afghanistan, and that he was okay. So it is a character that has been talked about, alluded to since season one. So
Yes, it has been.
obviously, I like I said with these guys, nothing, it's done for a reason. I mean, could you imagine if the long lost, son came from Russia to the United States, the same day that Stan is thinking all this stuff and this Russian shows up on the Jennings doorstep?
Yeah. Another joke is on this link is they said, well, since he's headed to America, we should think the Jennings should stay in. Will probably stay in America.
Absolutely.
And he said, yeah, that would be funny, right? If they show up at the door and Stan's
Right?
like, you just missed them.
Exactly. It'd be hilarious.
Yes, it would be. Um, so did I? What do you think? He's coming to America, right?
Just like the Neil Diamond song.
Yep, coming to America.
Absolutely. I would sing it for you, but that would just scare away every listener we have
Yeah.
if I sang.
Yes, I think it would be great.
No,
It
I've done
um,
it before.
and so he's a little bit of a rebel, isn't he?
Apparently of it, because either he was campaigning propaganda against the government, and we're either going to look at you as a prisoner or someone with major psychiatric problems.
And so we're
So
now telling you, we're assuming you have psychological problems, right? That's
exactly,
it. Yeah.
exactly, we're just going
Mhm.
to go with that
Yeah.
because you have some high powered friends.
Yeah. Um. So they know that this is Philip's son.
Who knows?
That you think that's the powers that be.
I don't know. I think it could be Gabriel. I mean,
Okay. So Gabriel knows that.
well, Gabriel knows about him. Gabriel's the one who was updating Philip when he was at war, when Mika was at war. So who knows if it's just like a standing order, like maybe it's just in his chart, you know what I mean, in his file that he's a, very important, person.
Yeah.
Or a deliberate phone call was made. I'm not sure. I think we'll find out. I don't think he's getting to America without Gabriel knowing something.
Yeah. I would
But
think so.
yeah, just the way this goes.
Uh,
You know?
Yeah. No. I think you're right. Is there? I'm trying to think. All right, so we've covered
We didn't
William's
cover
death.
Arcady. We didn't cover things over at the Resident Auto.
Okay, yes, I knew we were missing. So
Arcady and Olga.
yes,
Oh, I can't pronounce his name. I never can.
now they um
So they go to the Resident Toro, or he came to them. I'm not sure exactly when the FBI was sitting with him, and they were just angry. You did this.
mm-hmm,
You killed this. You killed him. You've done all this. You got my predecessor. Where he is not like as we've seen more and more. He is really not involved in Directorate S.
no,
Truly,
no, he's not.
I think he looked at that paper more like, what the heck?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean? I think he truly was like, what do you mean? I don't even, I don't know about these things.
Yeah. Do so Oleg is a good son, right?
Twice he's told, right?
Yes. Um, do you think? I hope we do not lose that character.
I don't think we're going to.
Yeah.
No. I go back to I'm still standing.
Mm-hmm.
And the way things have unfolded, I'm still standing by when he made that comment.
Yeah.
You'll be good to go with your new post unless the entire Eastern Seaboard gets a deadly virus.
Yeah.
And then went over to Beeman and told him about it. There's still something hanging there, Jesse.
Yes, I agree.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
I love the. I'm trying to think about. Where I want to go next. The where they have the meeting, Agent Wolf and them talk about to Arcady, right? Saying,
Mm-hmm.
you know, what do you mean? There can't be bioweapons. We have a treaty, and
Yeah, why would we
yeah,
be using this if you don't have any?
mm-hmm,
It was classic. It was beautiful.
yeah,
It was hilarious.
and then he's being. Oh, there's the phone. Excuse me. Um, it's not an episode if you don't have an unexpected phone call.
Absolutely.
So, Arcadie's kicked out of the country,
Right.
as you talked about already. So this gives our female lead
Yes.
she loses her African post,
right,
because she's kind of running this temporarily, right?
exactly. And it was made, and it was definitely made, once again, very out there. A woman really wouldn't have this,
Right.
it was made, very, it was put out in our faces again
Yeah.
when he said that to her.
And so do you think is Oleg high enough that he would have it, or would he be like deputy?
Well, with his father, who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, who really knows with his father? But I don't know.
I feel kind of bad that she did lose her post, because that was quite a coup. And instead, she's going to sit there. And I know this is a cliche, but it happens in real life, where someone gets promoted over someone, and the person who didn't get the job ends up doing it anyway.
Yep.
They don't get the title, but they get all the work.
Absolutely.
Yes, and I could see that no matter what, communist, capitalist, England, South America, Europe, U.S., it happens, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it happens to women a lot, especially
Exactly.
back then.
It was also, we didn't talk about Philip at the EST meeting. Where
he was just talking about being a travel agent.
Yes.
But what we really understood,
Yes.
you know what I mean?
And every once in a while, I can't think of the movie, but there was this great movie where there was a killer who went to AA meetings, and he was not talking about drinking or drugs. He was talking about
Oh,
people. And, so that made me think of this, where he's like,
well, also Christopher on The Sopranos did it.
yeah, and it's like, I can't, I just don't want to do this. And they're like, well, just quit. Why can't you? And and this
I made
smugness,
commitments. I made
yeah.
commitments to my family. I made commitments.
And the S leader is just so smug, going, oh, come on.
Right, you're not that good.
Yeah, you're not that good. You're not that indispensable. And of course, he can't tell. Look, Jay, jackass. I really literally can't, because he's not. But you can feel Philip. This is they have a good life. And yes, there are times when they do a job they don't like, but overall, it's good. So I thought that was a really great scene and really told a lot about where they're at.
I agree.
Now, Paige is not a fan of being involved in Pastor Tim's life anymore and the church. She's kind of over it, but
That also why she's okay with making out with a boy and all these
yes.
other things.
But I do think there was true joy holding Pastor Tim's daughter. And Pastor Tim and his bride, Alice, are just staring at her, and you can tell there's real affection for her there. And I think that, to me, is a message that is not, that is in no longer in red, it's in the lower yellow scale. Like if you're green, yellow, red.
Right.
I don't think it'll ever go green, but I think right now they've done a good enough job of them thinking, okay, I think they're not a threat. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do. I had to think for a moment, but I do.
And I love how smart Paige is, where she goes, all of us? Well, yeah, Henry too.
Yeah, all of us. Yeah.
Well, maybe I should go by myself after church.
Right.
And
Elizabeth's like, I have a gift you could bring. That'd be great. You guys can come after they come home.
yeah.
And can I make you dinner?
Yes.
Have you eaten? Can I make you dinner?
And how long did how soon did you want visitors? I didn't have any friends.
Oh, that was when I was born. How soon did you?
Yeah, I didn't have any friends. And that's so sad.
Mm-hmm. But you think maybe Paige is also feeling that for her mother now?
Yes, I think so.
I do too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you so
Yeah.
I think and so I think we have left is the center wants us, we've talked about, will the Jennings go? We don't think they will. And if it's just so much is left hanging. It is a true cliffhanger. Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that Paige and Matthew have a great discussion about Matthew saying that his father had an affair, and she says, I used to think my dad was having an affair, and she said, no, we just trusted him.
Yeah.
And Matthew got a little fresh going under the blue sweater.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I love do you want to pack? Get the hell out of here? I don't know. Are you trying to picture them there? Yeah. And we have this already discussion. okay, we got to go, sweetie. He's concerned. And Stan says, are we playing racquetball on Tuesday?
Right, like
Yeah.
nothing's going on.
Hmm. And Philip's telling him, I don't want you to see him. Don't do this. You have no idea. No idea.
Right,
And that's where we leave it.
and that's it. That was it. But I think that was a father also.
We talked about that and I totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Um, so I think a strong, unsettling ending to an absolutely wonderful season.
Absolutely. I think, like I said earlier, I think this season, we saw a lot. We saw come and go. We saw some things tied up nicely in a little bundle, some storylines. We've seen some stuff still left open. And we'll see. But I could tell you that I will try and be on set. You heard me.
Very nice. All right, if you
I
get a blurb,
haven't been for a while, but
yes,
yes.
if you can get a blurb from your very good friend,
I'm trying to get him on the podcast still, but he's a little busy at the moment.
absolutely. And maybe you can get a scoop on the sex of the baby.
You know what? I'm trying.
I know you
I
are.
really want to know. I want to
Yes.
send a gift.
Yes.
I mean, they live not so far from me.
Yes. All right. So, how would you rate the episode?
9.25 Cokes.
That's nice. I am going to give it 9 baby blankets.
I like.
Yes.
Never would have thought of that one.
Because I'm sure that's I used to have, and I could find it somewhere. Um, when Chris was born, I did not understand why you got so many receiving blankets. Till and I made a list of the top 10 things you can use a receiving blanket for. And for those of you without kids, it's a very thin, small blanket that you can use for almost anything.
A burp pad.
Yes.
Number one thing that I remember.
Absolutely. You use it to swaddle the baby.
Absolutely.
You can put it on the window to make a sunscreen so the
Absolutely.
sun won't get in the car in the car seat. Um, they get messed up a lot. You can put it on a cape and they become a super baby.
Absolutely.
You can put it over your head and be Sister Mary Margaret when you're playing What Am I Now?
Or just one of those people in the airport. Flowers for the lady.
Yes,
Flowers for
absolutely.
the lady.
Absolutely. So Allie, let's talk. We're going to do one more episode where we're going to discuss the season as a whole, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
We're going to go, just a quick synopsis from episode to episode.
Yeah. And then we are talking about doing a rewatch starting from season 1.
Yes.
Yes.
I would like to do that.
Yeah, I would too. I don't think we'll do it every week. I think we'll do it every other week because things will be going on in the summer. But I think we could
Like what?
Yeah. Bruce. So we can definitely get through the first season. And who knows, we just may keep going on every other week until we catch up because it will be a year before we get the next season, right? I know. But this will help us get through it. Allie, how can someone find you?
Best way is on Twitter at A4EVANYGIRL. You can also follow Comrades on Twitter at ComradesSMG. And you can email us, comradessmg@gmail.com. Jesse Jackson.
And I am at Jesse Jackson DFW, and I'm please email us your thoughts on the whole season. I would love to do an episode of feedback. So next week when we're doing the season review. So if you can, give them that email address one more time.
It's comradessmg@gmail.com.
Good. We'd love to have your thoughts and feelings on that. Lots to talk about.
So much.
But we're going to save that for now.
Absolutely.
So we have And
It's sad.
I
So
know.
sad.
Now, hopefully, we should have Born in the USA next season.
If it's all done correctly.
Yes.
And I know for a fact that there are a bunch of Springsteen fans in that cast.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to have at least Matthew and Henry being.
Yes.
Forget about it.
I just think they should have played it when they were showing the scene with Pastor Tim's baby.
Yes.
Because Kelly is a very big Springsteen fan.
Okay. And you are working to try to get him to visit with us. And if you can't, I'm sorry, I'll cut that out.
I'm working on a couple of things.
Oh, very nice.
But cut that out.
Okay.
You don't have to cut that out. I don't care.
Oh, no, no, we won't.
I don't care.
But for
I
now,
don't care.
thank you guys so much.
Thank you for a wonderful season, and stay tuned.
Yes, and Allie, thank you so much for just doing this with me. It is lovely. We talk all the time via Twitter and Facebook and everything, but this gives us an excuse to talk.
Exactly. I love it. I was so honored.
Yes, absolutely. So for now, goodbye. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
We hope you've enjoyed this show. This podcast is part of the 80s Reboot Overdrive channel on Southgate Media Group. You can follow us on Facebook on the 80s Reboot group page. We're also on Twitter and Tumblr at 80s Reboot. We invite you to check out all the wonderful podcasts and blogs available at southgatemediagroup.com. And thank you for reliving the 80s.